Is the apocalypse about to be upon us? Find out on this episode of Death Battle on Volume Up Real Reviews. That's right. This we are talking about two apocalyptic characters here in Kratos from the God of War franchise and Spawn from the Spawn franchise. These are two people who ushered in apocalypse in their respective gaming and comic book universes, respectively. I I remember that I could not watch the Spawn cartoon until I was more adult, and I never played the God of War games until I was definitely an adult. Although the first God of War game I believe came out when I was like 16 or 17 years old. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started with Kratos versus Spawn.
Of all the warriors who have entered this arena, none can compete with these two titans of death. Kratos, the ghost of Sparta who single-handedly annihilated Olympus.
And Spawn, who managed to dethrone both Satan and God.
I'm Wizard and he's Boomstick, and it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Kratos is a demigod, raised among the Spartans as their greatest warrior, until one day his people were threatened to be overrun. It was then he struck a deal with Ares, the god of war. Ares would give him the strength to protect his people. In return, Kratos would serve as Ares'
Kingdom
champion
Hearts,
Kratos became super powerful and really vicious, but was tricked by Ares into killing his own family. But hey, he saved some money on child support and divorce.
As the hot, white ashes of his family clung permanently to his skin,
Just like Michael Jackson.
his quest for vengeance against the gods of Olympus began. As a demigod, Kratos possesses incredible strength, speed, and endurance. He can survive a pummeling from a titan and best the power of Hercules.
Kratos wields the Blades of Exile, twin short swords bound to his arms by chains. The blades have a hook design which Kratos can use to cut right through his enemies or snag them and whip them around. And like most badass weapons, they can somehow emit fire.
Kratos is well trained in sword combat and possesses what may be the most powerful sword the Greek gods have to offer, the Blade of Olympus.
After Kratos killed Ares, spoiler, he was made the God of War, but Zeus tricked him into putting all of his godly powers into this sword, making him mortal once again.
And making the Blade of Olympus a deadly harbinger of death to even the toughest Olympians. His most versatile defense is his golden fleece, armor capable of blocking powerful blows and deflecting magical attacks.
But there's a whole lot more to this guy's arsenal. Like the bow of Apollo, which can shoot a rapid stream of arrows or charge up deadly fire arrows.
Then there's the claws of Hades, which mercilessly rip the souls out of their victims, though tough opponents like Kratos can resist them.
The Nemean Cestus are giant, ultra-strong gauntlets which can stun foes with brutal shockwaves.
The boots of Hermes give him superhuman speed, and when battling the infamous Icarus, he ripped those huge wings off the old fool's back and took them for his own, giving him powers of flight.
Holy crap, that's a lot of weapons. I like this guy.
Kratos is not invincible, but he is very difficult to kill.
Hell, he can't even kill himself.
In his rage, he tore apart the ranks of Mount Olympus and slaughtered every god upon and below it, except for Aphrodite.
For obvious reasons.
In doing so, he ultimately brought about the end of the world. Without the power of the gods to keep the chaos in check, the apocalypse had arrived. And its vanguard was Kratos.
It's never explained
to make you a great warrior.
It's never explained how he survived stabbing himself.
Al Simmons was trained to be a deadly, stealthy soldier and assassin, and proved numerous times he was the best of the best. But when his morality got the better of him, his boss terminated his contract permanently.
That's when Simmons met Malvosia, one of the demon lords of hell, who struck a deal with him. He'd get to see his wife again if he became captain of Hell's army. He agreed and was reborn as a Hell Spawn. But as with most demons, it tricked him, leaving Spawn with a fate worse than death. And of course, Spawn swore revenge.
Being a Hellspawn, he has superhuman strength and speed. He is nearly invulnerable and can use his own powers to heal and regenerate.
In addition, Spawn can feed or draw from the evil ores of others for the same effect. It really saves him on band-aids.
He wears a living, parasitic, symbiotic suit, named Letha of the 7th House of K.
Letha has ridiculous powers. Basically, anything she or Spawn wants to happen can happen. The suit can create and control change, claws, spikes, and morph itself into pretty much anything Spawn wants. like a badass cape that can trap enemies and protect Spawn from all sorts of danger.
The suit has a mind of its own and can operate while Spawn focuses on other parts of the battle. It's strong enough to easily smash through brick and fast enough to block
two
bullets.
people at once.
However,
basically.
Letha feeds off necroplasm energy when using the suit's powers, a hellish matter which Spawn is entirely composed of. If Letha uses too much, Spawn will be sent back to hell. However, like Spawn, Letha can also feed off the evil and sin of others.
Spawn's also got tons of magic powers. He can teleport, transform, blow things up, turn invisible, alter matter, talk to animals, fly with his cape, read minds, and open portals to heaven and hell. Holy crap!
And he can control the elements, often using fire and water to defeat swarms of enemies. However, even with all these godlike abilities, Spawn usually resorts to his most primitive weapon. As he was trained in special forces for so long, Spawn is most comfortable using a gun. He's an expert in the use of nearly any firearm imaginable.
Only two things can break through Spawn's defenses and hurt him: necro magic and holy weapons forged in heaven. In addition, he can only die if he's beheaded.
Spawn's fought and killed all sorts of powerful enemies: assassins, cyborgs, vampires, ghosts, angels, demons, other hellspawn, rampaging deities, even Satan and God. Yes, that old lady is the God.
Really? God looks like my Nana. My demigod?
And after being granted unlimited power from the mother of all things, Spawn banished God and Satan from the earth, which he wiped clean and rebuilt in his own image. He then willingly sacrificed his own god powers and eventually returned to his hellspawn form.
Oh, why the hell would he do that? He must have been really bored.
Knock, knock.
All right, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
Okay, so before the battle starts here, Kratos versus Spawn. That whole he can only be killed by beheading and by something of forged in earth. I mean, in heaven. I mean, that obviously is the sword of Olympus. So will Kratos be able to get in close enough to be able to use that? You know, because yeah. I mean, you know, the fact that Kratos has taken on the gods of of Mount Olympus, which are pretty freaking tough, says a lot. But Spawn has taken on both God and Satan. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to give this one to Spawn here. I think that Kratos, yeah, he has a lot in his arsenal, but something just tells me that Spawn is just going to take this one. So I'm gonna go with Spawn.
Fight.
I mean, bullets aren't going to take out Kratos.
You're pissing me off.
I mean, yeah, that's not going to work. Okay. All right.
Die.
Wait, what? The sword wasn't going to do it?
Oh man, here comes the rage from the God of War fanboys.
Kratos is a very difficult one to beat, but Spawn's magical prowess and near indestructible body proved too much for him.
Yeah, normally that last attack would have meant the end for his opponent, but not Spawn.
And while much of Kratos' arsenal were forged by Olympians, Olympus is composed of earthly elements, and is not another plane of existence like heaven. So it stands to reason none of the Olympian weapons could kill Spawn.
Except the Blade of Olympus, but it wasn't enough.
Plus, Spawn and his suit had plenty of evil energy to feed on during the fight, since Kratos is literally covered in his past sins.
Well, that was one hell of a fight.
The winner is Spawn.
That does seem a little convenient, but I kind of get that. I I guess the Blade of Olympus. What wouldn't have been enough? I guess because he stabbed him in the stomach and not beheaded him. I guess, but I don't know. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I agree with the results there. But anyway, that was Kratos versus Spawn. That was a pretty good one. Join me for the next episode of Death Battle here on Volume Up Real Reviews.